Hello everyone, so we're going to do a problem similar to number 3 on the spreadsheet models section on the quiz with Eastman Publishing Company. So for your problem, we have Eastman Publishing Company. They have variable costs and fixed costs per book, and they have a price point they plan on selling it for, and we want to build a spreadsheet model in the following way. So I'm going to do a similar problem. Our problem, I'm just going to vary the numbers. So suppose we have a company that makes textbooks. For our company, the company has fixed costs of $25,000 with variable costs of $3 per book. We plan to sell the book at $30 per book. So first build a model to calculate the profit loss for a given demand. What the profit can be anticipated at 2,200 copies. So let's open up Excel and let's get started with that. So we want our quantity, and at first we're just starting with 2,300, so we can just type that in there. And then we want to know the cost. And quantity is the same as demand, just the number that you're going to be selling of the book. The cost, we have for this problem a formula, so it's going to be based on the fixed costs, 25,000 plus $3 times the number of books sold, which is the quantity or demand. So we can put that there and then hit enter. So we see $31,900 is the cost. And then we have the revenue stream, which is how much we would plan to sell the book for, which we're starting off with the assumption that we're selling them at $30 per book, times again the quantity. So that gives the revenue. And then the profit is just going to be the revenue minus the costs. Okay, so that's, whoa, something happened there. C1 minus B1. So yeah. Oh, so we want C2 minus B2. That was clicking the cell above where we wanted. Okay, so at this 2,300 quantity, we're getting a profit of $37,100, which makes sense because our revenue is more than our costs. Then the next part of the problem asks us to build a table with the demand varying from 1,000 to 4,000 in increments of 300. So basically we're going to have the same thing, but we want to start now instead at 1,000 and then increase this. So I'm going to change this quantity to 1,000, and you'll notice that the cost and revenue changes because each one of those will formulas was in terms of the cell A2. And then to get the next cell, we just want to do the previous cell plus 300. And then we just want to scroll down until we get to 4,000. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can just fill this down until we get to 4,000. Oh wow, got it on my first try. And then scroll each one of these down accordingly. And we see actually at 1,000 it was high enough for this company to make a profit. If we would say insert a row before this one and put a smaller quantity, say 100, I bet we would experience some kind of loss. I don't think you can fill up. Yeah, so let's try and fill up Word. And see, well yeah, so if we did just 100 books, we would get a negative profit. So we see that somewhere in there we're going to have a break-even point at some quantity between 100 and 1,000. And in class, that's what we were doing. We were saying, okay, at this fixed price point of $30 per book that we're charging, can we use GoalSeek to figure out what the break-even quantity would be? And I got a little stuck in class, but if we read this question, it says use GoalSeek to determine the price per copy to break even with a demand of 2,200 copies. So when we do the by changing cell, we were doing the quantity, But if we look at this table, we don't see the by changing cell that we need. The by changing cell that we would need to figure out the price at $2,200 would actually just be, we'd have to create a different table. So let me make a new sheet. And now let's call it price. And for the initial price, we were doing $30, and then we saw the cost is the $25,000 plus $3 per book times the, in the specific example for the break even, we're at 2,200 copies. So let's go back and times 2,200, that's the cost. What was the revenue stream? The revenue stream is going to be the 2,200 copies now times the price we're charging per book. And then again, profit is still calculated as revenue minus cost. I did the same thing. I clicked the wrong cells. Apologize for that. So equals, we want this one minus this one. Okay, so there's our profit. Okay, so now notice we have a price column rather than a quantity column. So in each one of these formulas, we are explicitly, assuming that the quantity is 2,200. So what we want to do is now use the goal-seek analysis and vary the price, set that changing cell. So let's look at going ahead to do that. Oh, I'm messing around with this formula. The cost, unknowingly, was this one. Okay, good. Okay, so what we want to do now is everything's set in. We've got price of 30, cost 2,500 plus 3 times it should just be 2,200. 2,200 because that's our quantity. Yeah, and then the revenue again is 2,200, the quantity times the price, and then the profit is the difference. Okay, so what we want to do is now do what if analysis, selecting goal seek. And the set cell, we want to set the profit because we're looking for break even to the value 0, but we want the changing cell to be the price. So what that will do is it will say, all right, what price do I need at this quantity of $2,200 to give a profit of 0? So to make my money back, to offset the cost with the revenue. So click OK. And notice the profit is 0, the revenue is 9,100, cost is 9,100 because they should be the same. It's saying the price point only needs to be $4.13.6 to offset that. And notice that that would check out, right? If we did 413, yeah, so everything is accounted for because the cost isn't going to change because we've got $2,200 times the cost per book. So in essence, we're exactly offsetting those. So the revenue, 2,200 times this new price point, is exactly $9,100, and that's exactly what the cost is at that point. $2,500 in fixed costs plus 3 times 2,200. Oh, it looks like I made a small mistake there. The fixed cost should have been $25,000. So let's see if we can fix that. So the cost, I made an error. I forgot to include a 0. So I'm just now noticing that. So this price is off. So let's run the goal seek again to see what the correct price should be. And on the sheet before, let's see if I did that as well. So the cost I had correct on the previous one, $25,000, because yeah, so this formula should be the same on the new sheet. So back to the new sheet. So notice this is actually giving a negative profit. So let's run that what if analysis again. Goal seek the same way. We want the profit to be set to the value 0, and we want the changing cell to be the price. And if we hit OK, the price point that actually makes it equal will be $14.36, which makes a little more sense. So again, notice the cost is equal to the revenue. So that's how you go ahead and use GoalSeek to figure out how to change the price with the break-even. So you need to have a column for whatever it is you want to use GoalSeek to do the what-if analysis. So notice if we tried to use the sheet on part 2, we don't have any column that actually gives a price. The changing cell is this quantity, but in this one, what's going on is we're calculating cost, revenue, and profit for lots of different book prices rather than different quantities, but the quantity is fixed at 2200. So that is that, and I hope that helps you out with the quiz question.